Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the R&R Racewear All-Star Race at Richmond Raceway here on iRacing in the IROC iRacing series. And Alan Cahaley alongside newcomer to the broadcast group, Ray Cruz, with us tonight. Our normal play-by-play commentator, Tim, could not be here tonight, so we will certainly do the best we can. But certainly have an interesting one for you guys. This is the All-Star race, as we just mentioned, currently in practice. And surprise, surprise, as you see on the top left of your screen, Brian McCann leading the field so far. But certainly a lot of drivers within a tenth of a second of him, including Kevin McCann, his brother, Brad McDaniel, and Neil Quick, all within a tenth of a second. So Brian McCann should have some competition here tonight, but we'll see if they can make that happen. So this is an interesting one. So there's going to be 10-lap heat races. There's going to be 4 cars per heat, no caution for those heats, and they will be there will be random draws for who takes place in each heat. Following those heat races will be a 150-lap feature race with segments, by the way. So segment 1 is going to be 25 laps long, segment 2 will be 50 laps, and segment 3 will be 75 laps. And so that will certainly make things interesting. The segment 1 winner will receive $5 in iRacing credits. The segment 2 winner will receive $10 in iRacing credits. There will be 1 extra set of tires and only 50% on fuel. So this will not be, I believe that they probably will have to come into fuel more than once. So should certainly be an interesting one when, once strategy becomes involved. And the cautions will be thrown by the admins on race control, so it won't be us up here in the booth, but it will not be iRacing either. It will be the admins in the server that will throw those. So that's pretty much all the pre-race info we need. We do have a few things we can take a look at. We can take a look at the weather, what the weather's looking like. 74 degrees. So, the track not hot by any stretch of the imagination, and with it being a night race, that track temperature should decrease as the night goes on. So should be plenty of grip out there, but we'll see. We will see what happens once rubber does get laid down onto the track. So with that, we will take a short break and be right back. And as we return here at Richmond Raceway, see the let's get those car numbers back up there. Don't know what happened to them. But we've got Quick out here. Neil Quick, who's currently 5th in practice. Again, just less than a 10th behind practice leader Brian McCann. So he is definitely looking to put some fast laps out there tonight. And again, with this being an all-star race, not racing for points tonight. So these guys, we've seen wild races for points. So I can only imagine how daring these guys might get in these turns when you're not racing for those points. It's basically win or nothing. So why not?
Yep, bring home the steering wheel or bring home the checkered flag. I'm really interested, Alan, in seeing how these guys navigate turn 1. I've raced here many times in iRacing, and every single race, guys nosedive turn 1. And if you're the guy in front, your car gets extremely squirrely, and it messes up your exit coming off of 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will admit, the last time I raced here, yeah, I might have done that in the NIS series. So the guy that I did it to understood. It was a green-white checker, and he actually said, that he's a good dude. I'm sure he didn't do it on purpose. So I definitely appreciated that. But yeah, it's very easy to do, especially in turn 1, like you said. So we'll see if these guys can stay patient throughout the day, or if, like we said, we'll see if they just continue to, they decide to be aggressive and just go for it. So only time will tell.
That's right. And man, it may be Thursday night, but with the lights on the track, it feels like Saturday night. Short track racing, man. I'm pretty excited to be here and call this race.
Yeah, again, if you're just joining us, I am new to the play-by-play side of these broadcasts, so please bear with me. Hopefully it won't go too bad. And then this is Ray's first time ever broadcasting with us here at 10-4, so definitely something new for both of us, but we will certainly do the best we can. So as we should be wrapping up practice, believe that in about 2 minutes the first heat will begin. There actually is no qualifying, so they go straight into the heat races. So we will go straight from practice to the action. And again, the heat races are only 10 laps long, so certainly not long by any stretch of the imagination. We will get to the 150 lap main feature before too long, but those heat races will definitely be a good indication of how tonight is going to go, as there will only be 4 cars per heat race, and currently just 14 cars have put in time. So we'll see if any more come into play, or if that does end up being it. But again, we haven't really, one nice thing is we haven't seen a whole lot of spins. We have seen a few earlier. Neil Quick actually went off the track, as we will see it right here. And that's what you're going to see. You're going to see the spins coming off of the turns. And yeah, trying to stay off that wall right there is going to be a big obstacle. But we'll see if these guys can do it, because that's really going to be the story of this race, staying off that wall when you do spin. If you can do that, you'll be okay.
Yeah, like coming off of turn 4, you either get it right or you're going to hit the wall. And when you're in that situation where you may hit the wall, you got your foot on the gas and it just goes around on you.
Yeah, definitely. And really, the big part to iRacing and really just racing in general is when that car starts to spin, you do your absolute best. You have to know, okay, it's starting to go around. There's a fine line between getting the car a little loose coming off of the turn and flat out spinning it. So you just really have to know when to lay off that throttle. If you're just a little bit too aggressive, and just a little bit, it doesn't have to be much, that can be the difference between keeping your car on the track and having a wrecked car. So it'll be interesting, but here we go. So Jesse B. King, Brad McDaniel, Neil Quick, and Kevin McCann will be the opening heat race here tonight. And it'll definitely be interesting. We've seen some strong performances by Jesse King. Neil Quick has been up at the front at times, and Kevin McCann has been very strong this season. Brad McDaniel, we've seen him up there a few times as well. So this should be an interesting heat race to begin this night. And again, these cars are the ARCA series, but with that being said, they, as you can see, they do have the IROC paint schemes from back in the day, and they do look sharp, if I do say so myself, as they do every week here in this series. So it looks like we will just have one warm-up lap and then go green. And you see at the top left, heat 1, and we will go 10 laps, no cautions for these heat races. Pace car will be coming off right here, we believe, or not. There will be one more pace lap. Error number 1 of the night. In my defense, the pace car lights were off. Y'all saw it.
Yep, we've seen that, Alan.
And again, we'll show the weather one more time. The track temperature 76 degrees Fahrenheit. That is not hot by any means for an asphalt track. So there should be plenty of grip out there tonight. But again, you know, as tires wear, these cars get very, very slick. And you know, we saw that earlier this season, a race here at Richmond that really took a long, long time to get through. So it'll be interesting to see how tonight goes. And we are green here at Richmond Raceway. As you see, Jesse King gets off to a nice start, takes that bottom lane, is able to keep it down there. Having a battle for second early on with Brad McDaniel and Neil Quick. It's Neil Quick gonna dive below him. We'll see if he can keep it up there. And ooh, McDaniel gets a little loose there coming off of 4. Meanwhile, Jesse King pulling away.
Yep, already getting squirrely. So far, so good. Oh, the 32 getting a little loose coming out of 2, like we mentioned. Having
a little rough of a time here to start things off, but again, certainly straighten things out. If you're gonna get loose, you want it to be during these heat races. You'd much rather have it happen here than in the main feature. So just a learning experience there. As Jesse King did pull away for a little bit, but the gap, I believe, is closing a little bit as Kevin McCann gonna take second place with ease. He does clear Neil Quick. Neil Quick trying to return the favor, dives on him just a little bit. He's able to get down low. They will head to the backstretch side by side. McCann got just a little bit loose there, but was able to clear him. And right on his back bumper. Some good racing to start off the night here. Ride with Neil Quick real quick. McCann able to get away from him. So you see Quick a lot more aggressive going into the turns, but he has to lay off the throttle a little bit more, which allows McCann to pull away coming out of the turns. Yeah, taking those turns very low, so that does help you initially going into the turn, but not only does that kind of kill your momentum coming off, but it also hurts your tires.
Yeah, Jesse got loose coming off of 2 there just a little bit. Kevin McCann closing in the gap now, just 1/10 of a second off.
Yeah, he is fast approaching. Trying to get that momentum coming off of turn 2. He does so. Is he going to go for it here? Yes, he does. Battle for the lead in this opening heat race. Lap 7, 3 laps to go. They're side by side. McCann does lead that lap as they head into turn 1. Looks like he is able to almost clear him. He does so. Kevin McCann, the new leader. And, ooh, saw Quick get just a little bit loose there while trying to get underneath Jesse King. And that really killed his momentum there, as King will be able to have him cleared with ease. This one not over yet. Oh, okay, as soon as I said that, King hit the wall pretty good there, so believe that might be all the room that Kevin McCann needs to take this opening heat race as we head to the white flag. McCann with about a 0.3 of a second lead, but he'll increase that gap here on the back stretch, opens it up just a little bit. King actually did have a very nice turn there, but it's not going to be enough. Kevin McCann comes to the finish line. He will take this opening heat race. Jesse King second, Neil Quick third, and Brad McDaniel fourth. And just like that, we will head to the second heat. It's going to be Kyle Steffens, Dakota Clark, Vincent Short, and Brian McCann. There he is. Starting fourth is Brian McCann, so he will have to work through a little bit of the field, but again, he has been so strong this season. He has really dominated this league, and we'll see. You know, it's usually not a matter of if he's going to be at the front, but how many laps it takes him to get up there. So we'll see if he can do that. We'll see if these front three can put up a challenge for him. So Steffens will begin with the early lead to start things off, as we know now they will do 2 pace laps, not 1. So slowly learning these. So what do you think about the opening heat, Ray?
I think for the 10-lap shootout that we had and just 4 cars, we still seen plenty of good racing and kind of got a feel for what the track is doing in these colder temperatures. I do like that 08 car of Kyle Steffens and the inverted look of the IROC paint scheme. I think that's pretty unique. You got Dakota Clark here in the 34. He's going to start second. You have Vincent Short here in the 15. He's going to start third. And you got Brian McCann in the number 1 that's going to start fourth. From what I've heard from you, Alan, this guy's pretty strong, so it's going to be interesting to see how he battles these colder temperatures of the track.
Yeah.
And the looseness of coming out of turns 2 and 4.
So we do know in this league, in the leagues that we broadcast, that I rating and safety rating are they're not a clear indication of the skill level, but for what it's worth, Brian McCann has a 5,018 I rating with a 499 safety rating. So he's pretty good.
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, when you get up past 3,000 and 4,000 in I rating, you're putting in the work, you deserve to be up there with the top. You're putting in the work for sure.
Absolutely, and he's taught us some things in the post-race interviews that we do. He tells us how he has a diamond approach to a lot of these tracks. He'll let the car go up a little bit in the turn, in the middle of the turn. Oh, actually we got an incident. As we will go back there, and yeah, well, Brian McCann won't be taking this heat race, as him and Vincent Short both leave the track. So we were talking nothing but great things about him, and I think we might have jinxed him. But we'll take a look at what happened there real quick on the replay. And yeah, I think there was contact initially before that. We'll try to take one more look at that, as Vincent Short did have some damage there as well. See if we can, a little bit of contact. I think Short got a little loose coming off of 4 and just kind of got things going there. But again, it's a heat race, not the end of the world there. They still will have plenty of time to get back in the, they'll still have a chance in the main event. Just not a good start for them. But we go back to Kyle Steffens, who has opened up a over 2-second lead over Dakota Clark. Now Brian McCann is not out of it. It is just 10 laps, and we are already on lap 4. But he is currently 6.5 seconds back and closing. So we'll see if he can put up a challenge. I don't think he's going to have enough time, but you never know. So it was kind of the opposite of what we saw in the opening heat. We saw clean but close racing in the opening heat, and now this time these guys are spread out pretty good due to that incident early on, as Steffens now has opened up a 3-second lead, and really just all by himself right now. He is smooth sailing as long as he can keep it clean.
Yeah, Alan, right now Kyle Steffens is just making practice laps. He's got a nice cushion between him and second place. There's no reason to push it. Just getting a great finish here in the heat. He's got 3 more laps to go. Really tough to see Brian McCann and Vincent Short get the starts that they got. That's just the thing about Richmond. It's super loose. And if you're not just right on your line, you know, that car just gets out of control.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see so much space between Steffens and Dakota Clark, and you can barely see Clark back there. But again, you know, when you open up a lead like that, that's exactly what you're looking to do. Is we are taking a look at Kyle Steffens right now. His last lap at 22.541. Earlier he did run at 22.372, so impressive performance for him in this opening heat. And you know, even though 2 cars were eliminated from this opening heat, still, you know, he's still got to battle Dakota Clark, and really has done a nice job of pulling away from him. And so just a great job by him. As we are on the white flag for Kyle Steffens, now almost a 5-second lead, but Brian McCann actually was able to cut it down to about 5 seconds, so he did make up almost a second in just about, what, 5 or 6 laps, so still a pretty impressive comeback for McCann. In fact, he is going to end up taking second place, it looks like, as, yeah, he's under Dakota Clark, and Clark spins it. Coming on to the front stretch, he is going to, did he cross the finish line yet? I believe he did, but that is Brian McCann, a nice little comeback there to take second in this heat. Let's take a look at, actually no, we're not going to be able to. The next heat already beginning, so just like that. We will be back with you in just a moment. Having a little bit of a technical issue right now. And we are back with you. Did get the technical issues worked out, thank goodness. Definitely interesting there, but I believe we have the technical issues figured out, but currently only one of these 4 drivers showing up on the leaderboard. So let's try to get that working again. No, it doesn't want to. So just bear with us as we hopefully for the next heat that will be solved. But in this heat, we have Colt Cecil in the number 63, Chris Wally in
Here
the
we go, 3 wide,
yeah,
Alan,
3
3
wide
wide.
early on.
Out of 4.
As looks like Colt Cecil does have the early lead in the 63 car, but Chris Wally takes over second place, and Chris Mefford in third, and Cook Quick in fourth. And battle right now seems to be for second place. The other two is kind of spread out a little bit. Chris Wally and Chris Mefford right there near each other. It's Colt Cecil kind of checking out early on. He has opened up a half a second lead. Not too far up there, but nice start for him. So you see Chris Mefford closing the gap, might be trying to make a move on Chris Wally before too long. Gets just a little tight going into turn 3 there. Just right along with Chris Mefford just for a couple of laps here. As you can see, he does get a lot of momentum coming off of 4. Yeah, he's choosing to use that high line. That's something that we haven't seen much of so far in these heat races, but you see that momentum that he carries off. Tried to get under Wally, and he gets into him. They're both able to keep it collected. Chris Wally going to pull away because of that, and Cook Quick going to take over third place as well. So Mefford definitely paying for that move right there.
Alan, I think Chris has that line figured out. We're on lap 6, 10 here. You give him a lap or 2, and I think he'll get back up to Wally.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely able to carry a lot of momentum coming out of the turns, and again, that's not only good for, you know, your overall speed, but that can help you save tires as well. The only problem is when you first go into the turns, that's where you're losing that lap, you know, your lap times. But other than that, that's really a good move, especially if the run goes, you know, the longer the run goes. But so far, yeah, Mefford right back up on him, as we're going to have another battle within a lap or 2, but there's only about 2 laps remaining as they come to the start-finish line. 2 laps remaining now. We'll see if Mefford tries it again, tries to put another move on Wally, but I really like that line. He's able to kind of stay up top and then kind of cut his way into the turn. And here he goes, going low on Wally. We'll see if he can keep it down there. So we're going to have a good battle for the white flag. Again, this is for second place. Colt Cecil has pulled away. We've hardly even had to show him on camera because of how clean of a heat race he has had. Chris Wally gets below the apron there in the turns. Luckily, doesn't get it too loose, but it looks like Chris Mefford is going to take second place without much of an issue. As they come to the start-finish line, he spins. Actually, I think Colt Cecil did as well coming to the finish line, but Colt Cecil will take that third split. And luckily, it does look like our leaderboard is now working again, so that's good to see, as there are only 3 in this final split. Brandon Mefford, Tim Schofield, and Kyle Pendergraft will make up this final heat. Again, after this will be the 150 lap main feature. It will have 3 segments. The first segment 25 laps long, segment 2 50 laps, and segment 3 75 laps. So that'll certainly be an interesting one. And again, only 1 set of tires will, not including your original set, but there will only be 1 change of tires allowed in the race, so that will certainly cause these guys to really have to keep their tire wear in mind. So you won't be able to stay aggressive, and see if that becomes a factor, especially late in the race.
Yeah, Alan, I've been away from iRacing since last summer in the the update where you have a limited amount of tires per race is very interesting. It changes a lot of your strategy now. Makes tires way more important versus just going in and getting a new set whenever you wanted to. Makes things really interesting, and I haven't had a chance to run any races with those limitations, but I'm sure it makes it really fun.
It is. I mean, it's kind of a polarizing thing. There's people that absolutely love it, and then there's people who absolutely hate it. You know, for the people who hate it, they think, well, it just makes the first 3/4 of the race not matter, and that it just comes down to who has tires at the end, because especially in the NIS series, it's usually green, white, checkered. So whoever has an extra set of tires for that green, white, checkered is going to end up winning. But I personally, I love it. I love the strategy involved, really having to think twice about going in to take tires. It used to be you would literally just come in pretty much every single caution and get tires because it was unlimited. But now that there is a limit on how many you can take, it really does make a huge difference. And that's something these guys are going to have to keep in mind as we are on lap 1. Brandon Mefford takes the early lead, pulling away just a little bit from Tim Schofield and Kyle Pendergraft. See if they can put up a challenge, as we do have a battle for second place. Pendergraft does take the second position with relative ease. But another thing that has been updated since you've been racing, Ray, is that, as Pendergraft goes around coming off of turn 2, Schofield is able to get by without any contact, but a rough go of it so far for Kyle Pendergraft. He took that second position and unfortunately does send the car around coming off of turn 2. We'll take another look at that real quick.
Just coming into turn 2, man, you know, off throttle, coast, get back on it as hard as you can without spinning, and sometimes that's still too much.
Yep. And let's take a look at it one more time, but from his point of view, look at his roll bar real quick, and yeah, that he was going around early. Usually you're kind of already at the straightaway by the time you start going around, but yeah, he was in trouble before he even got out of the turn, so that was very unfortunate for him. He is still going, but 13 seconds back, and that number is increasing even more. So Brandon Mefford having it pretty easy so far, a 2.5 second lead.
Well, thankfully for Kyle there, Alan, we've got another 150 laps to go. So just tighten them seat belts and get some practice and figure that exit out a little more.
Yeah, and at this point, if you're Kyle Pendergraft, you've kind of, through that spin, your tires are kind of used up from it. So now, do some laps with old tires. That's basically what he's doing. So, in a way, if you're optimistic after a spin, you're thinking, well, at least I'm getting experience with old tires now. So that's one way of looking at it. But yeah, he'll unfortunately have to start near the back, it looks like. But as we are closing in on about 3 laps remaining, Brandon Mefford again having a pretty easy go of it. Tim Schofield is pulling up to him just a little bit, but unless Mefford makes a mistake, it looks like he's going to take it with ease. But yeah, it's certainly been an interesting 4 heat races. You've had incidents involved with 3 of the 4, but the first one couldn't have been cleaner, and it was very good racing, and hopefully that's what we'll see for the main event. With a spin or 2 mixed in, that never hurts. But as we are on 1.5 laps remaining, looks like Mefford has opened that gap back up a little bit, almost a 3-second lead now. So Tim Schofield was pulling up just a little bit, but I think he's maybe used up his tires a little bit trying to do that. So we are on the white flag for this final heat race. Mefford having a very clean go of it in this one. Just started off first, and he will finish that way. With the exception of a spin right here, which does not happen, Brandon Mefford, your winner of the final heat race of the night. Now we head to the main feature. And Mefford just getting all the practice laps in he can, I guess. He's still going. And hits the wall just for show. So we will have a short warm-up session. We'll take a short break and be right back with you for the main event here on 10-4 Broadcasting. And as we return, a little bit of a surprise as you see up on the leaderboard here in warm-up, as warm-up actually does come to an end, and big wreck just for good measure. But Kevin McCann actually bests his brother Brian by over a 1/10.5. So a very impressive warm-up session by Kevin McCann. We'll see if he can stay up there, as he will actually start off in first place for this feature event. So it looks like the order will be Kevin McCann starting in first, Kyle Steffens second, Colt Cecil in third, Brandon Mefford in fourth, Jesse B. King fifth, Brian McCann sixth, Chris Mefford seventh, Tim Schofield eighth, Neil Quick ninth, Dakota Clark 10th, Chris Wally 11th, Kyle Pendergraft 12th, Brad McDaniel 13th, Vincent Short 14th, and Cook Quick in 15th. So again, this will be a 150 lap race, 3 segments in the race. The first one will last 25 laps, segment 2 50 laps, segment 3 75 laps. These guys are racing for money to a certain extent in iRacing credits for these segments. The segment 1 winner receives $5 in iRacing credits. Segment 2 winner receives $10 in iRacing credits. So, you know, you never know how much those credits are worth to some of these drivers. Might see some aggressive moves early on even. So we'll just have to wait and see. Should be an interesting one. So we do now know that there will be 2 pace laps. I'm really interested to see how Kevin McCann does. You know, we were looking at the practice times early on, and it looked like Brian McCann was going to be really the car to beat. But based on that warm-up time, Kevin McCann was way ahead of everybody else. So we'll see if he can stay up there. I'm expecting some competition from Brian as well as a few other drivers as well. But it'll certainly be interesting to see who leads early on. I feel like whoever does lead early is going to really pull away from everybody else. It's just a matter of who it'll be.
Yeah, Alan, I want to take a moment before we go to the green flag and thank R&R Racewear for sponsoring this All-Star race at Richmond Raceway and supporting iRacing IROC Calendar Series and supporting sim racing in general. I think it's a great thing. And here we go with the green flag.
Yeah, here we go as Kevin McCann gets into turn 1 very clean. Kyle Steffens clear for now, but actually Colt Cecil will be to the inside of him as we have an early battle for second place. Colt Cecil able to clear him. Looks like we have a battle for 5th as we have a yellow flag already. It looks like Dakota Clark has run into an issue early on as he is getting back up to speed. We'll go back and take a look and see what happened here. So he's going into turn 3 side by side with Quick, and goes around all by himself. Was thinking that there was going to be some contact there, but just flat out got loose heading into turn 3.
Yeah, Alan, with iRacing, I've learned to, especially at Richmond, if your wheel is turned just too much and you get back on the throttle, I mean, it'll just turn you around real quick.
And he will come into pit early on. Certainly not what he was looking to do this early. I'm guessing to get some damage repaired. Let's take a look real quick from his angle, just see if there was any indication. Not really, just got back on the throttle a little bit too soon, it looks like. And luckily the damage, it doesn't look like it's going to be too bad. Didn't hit the wall hard by any means, maybe some cosmetic damage there, but I think he'll be okay. And it looks like he is getting tires. That's surprising. That unless we were told wrong, there's just 1 tire change that you get for this feature race. So he is going to have to go nearly 150 laps on 1 set of tires.
Yeah, Alan, that could be a product of not getting his pit strategy right in iRacing, or I'm not too entirely sure. Like I said, I haven't raced with a limited set of tires, but that is interesting.
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe he meant to take that tire change off. By default, iRacing does have those check boxes marked when it comes to changing tires. So I'm wondering if he did that on purpose or if he did that by mistake. But nevertheless, we'll see how his tire management is, because that will be something that he's definitely going to have to try to do, as he is actually already a lap down Dakota Clark. So an unfortunate start for him, but again, you know, he can easily get a lucky dog and get back into this one. But a lot of tire saving he's going to have to do now. So a couple other sponsors we do want to thank for the broadcast. Hydrotech PC, as you see on the bottom right of your screen, as well as Loud Pedal Gaming. So a big thank you to them, as well as R&R Racewear, like Ray mentioned earlier. Big thanks to all those guys for making this series possible. As we are... go ahead.
I'm really happy to see all these major racing companies get involved in sim racing. I think the NASCAR crossover during the COVID-19 pandemic really helped out a ton. There were companies before that were helping out sim racing leagues and communities, but I think it's really awesome that these guys are helping us put on these shows and allowing us to stream them and just supporting sim racing in general.
Yeah, definitely. A big thank you to all of them. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, the COVID, if there's, you know, we all try to look at the bright side, you know, when unfortunate things happen. But boy, for iRacing, you know, they're not glad that COVID happened, but man, it really did help with the popularity of COVID not COVID, of iRacing, when NASCAR decided to hold those virtual races on iRacing, and really just exploded in popularity. So, you know, as someone who's been on, you know, kind of off and on of iRacing for almost 10 years now, actually a little bit over 10 years, it was really cool to see it be on the main stage like that and get all that attention. Now, I wasn't crazy about my G27 picking the worst time possible to brake and having to shop around for a wheel while that popularity was going on. And I mean, even a Momo from back in the day was going for around $300 on eBay. So it was pretty crazy to see all these wheels go for these crazy prices. But luckily, things have calmed down since then.
Well, right now we have Kevin McCann at the helm of this 150 lap All-Star race, sponsored by R&R Racewear. You got Colt Cecil in second, and you got Kyle Steffens in third. It's like a pretty close group of guys that are fast, man, and I'm enjoying watching them navigate Richmond here at night.
Yeah, definitely. And this is Jesse King that we're riding along with right now. Did start in 5th place, so he's made up one spot, but good green flag run for these guys. Had the very early wreck, but since then these guys have really done a nice job of keeping it together. And it actually does look like Dakota Clark is still on the lead lap, so he was able to get that lap back. So everybody kind of on an even playing field except Clark, and I'm guessing he is, you know, with him not making up any positions, my guess that he is in tire saving mode. That is just my guess right now. But obviously still a long way to go in this one. So, but these guys are 15 laps away from the end of the opening segment. Don't forget about that. These guys are currently racing for $5 in iRacing credits to win stage 1, which will end in 15 laps. So Kevin McCann, the early leader, but Colt Cecil putting up a challenge. He's less than a second behind him, and I believe I was going to say he might be catching up, but I don't think that's actually the case. I think McCann is getting just a little bit more on him. Actually, excuse me, McCann is now over a second and a half ahead of Colt Cecil. So yeah, he has definitely opened up that lead, and it's almost, yeah, almost a second and 3/4 now.
Alan, it seems like Kevin McCann turned it up to 11. He's got that clear track in front of him, just ticking off laps one by one.
Yeah, there's definitely something to having clean air here at this track. Boy, Brian McCann, I really thought he'd be up there, but still currently in 6th place. I believe that's where he started actually. So I think Brian McCann just kind of taking it easy right now. But yeah, hasn't made up any positions yet, but obviously still a long night ahead of him. It's really no battles going on right now. And really, this is probably the main one. Just McCann about 4/10 behind Brandon Mefford. Actually, the biggest battle is in the very back. Dakota Clark and Chris Wally battling for position, as Chris Wally must have been passed by Dakota Clark, but now making that pass right back and returning the favor as Chris Wally takes over 14th place.
Alan, I like what I'm seeing. Everybody's taking care of the stuff. They're not overdriving the car. Those that spawn during their heats to kind of learn their lesson there, and we're just cruising. Still got a lot of laps ahead of us.
Yeah, definitely. And as we look at Mefford and Brian McCann, McCann has closed that gap. As we're still looks like we're about 9 laps away from the end of the opening segment, but McCann putting more and more pressure on Mefford. We'll see if he can continue to close that gap. As actually we do have a battle ahead of them. Jesse King has passed Kyle Steffens for 3rd place, and really starting to bunch up here. This is starting to get interesting.
The best thing these guys can do, Alan, is just take it easy. If you got the position and you got the spot, you know, don't take any chances right now. Don't knock yourself out of the chance of winning that $5 iRacing credit or the 10 during the second stint.
Yeah, and Colt Cecil now getting passed by Jesse King for 2nd place, as they are almost side by side at the line, but Jesse King did have 2nd place crossing the line, as Colt Cecil, I think maybe that tire wear is starting to affect him, as he is really getting a lot of pressure right now. Meanwhile, you see that differential. Kevin McCann has checked out over a 3.5 second lead now, and he continues to pull away. So I think that Kevin McCann has proven to be the car to beat here tonight. We figured at the start it would be one of them. It was just a matter of who, and so far that seems to be the case for him. Tell you what, Kyle Steffens now trying to make some noise, putting the pressure on Jesse King. We are 5 laps away from the end of the opening segment, as Colt Cecil really just trying to hang on to his car now. He has just gotten passed for 4th place. He was 2nd just a couple of laps ago, and even more pressure on him now. As he has just gotten passed by, actually that is Mefford that passed him, so yeah, Cecil now in 5th, but Brian McCann not far behind. He'll be putting the pressure on him before too long. It looks like he got a little loose going into the turn as well, so that does not help your tires. So yeah, I think Cecil is really just trying to hang on right now, but he's down on the apron. That's never a good sign. He is just trying to hang on to that car. Finally, they're able to get those cars single file. Interesting series of events going on in these last couple of laps. Some good battles and some good close calls. But meanwhile, we're going to go check on Kevin McCann, who's really just completely checked out for this opening segment. We'll take a look at the back of his car, and as you can see, there is nobody back there. So you finally see Jesse King and the rest of them coming off of turn 4, but yeah, plenty of distance between McCann and the rest of the field, as he is definitely going to take this opening segment with ease. And actually, he's starting to lap cars as it looks like Dakota Clark has just gone a lap down. Now, fortunately, he will be able to get that lucky dog right back, as they're going to go one more lap to end this opening segment. And really, Chris Wally trying to stay on that lead lap. If you're Dakota Clark, you're rooting for Chris Wally right now, trying to get him to stay on the lead lap. It looks like he's going to be able to, as Kevin McCann comes to the line to take the opening segment here at Richmond Raceway. So pretty clean start as everything's good. And here we go. So we're going to take a look and see what these guys decide to do for pit stops, as it looks like McCann will be coming in, and there goes Dakota Clark to stay out. And I believe this is going to be for fuel. Again, just 50% fuel for these cars here in this race, so they will have to fill up a couple of different times throughout the race. But this will tell us right here if Kevin McCann does decide to get tires or not. I don't expect him to. If you see the right side lift up here, then you know he's getting tires, and it doesn't look like that's the case. So yep, fuel only for most of these guys, it looks like that will be. And Kevin McCann will come out first with ease, as Chris Wally, it looks like he actually decided to stay out. That's an interesting move there. And he does not come in onto pit road, so Chris Wally is actually going to be the odd man out. He's the only one to stay out. So he'll have the lead as they take the green flag, but he will definitely have to pit before everybody else. So that's a interesting strategy there early on. And now Dakota Clark will come in to make his pit stop. So I believe we will be coming on 1 to go here. Oh, nope, there will be at least one more pace lap after this one. We'll take a look at the pit stops so far. So Vincent Short has actually come in to stop twice, and Dakota Clark has made 2 stops as well. Chris Wally, the only one who has not made a pit stop. So again, that'll be interesting to see how much longer he can last out there before he has to come in for fuel. Obviously, he is banking on a fairly quick caution to come out. As we'll take a look at the pit times. So it looks like the majority of them did come in for fuel only. I'm wondering if maybe Tim Schofield, 12.6 seconds, that maybe is enough time to get tires. Kyle Steffens, 14.7 seconds. That's enough time to get tires as well. Or they could have been getting a little bit of damage fixed. Unfortunately, we don't have the information as to whether they did actually take tires or not. So that's just an educated guess for us. So only time will tell. So we will be coming to the green here. Chris Wally will take the green flag to start segment 2. Again, Kevin McCann did take the opening segment for those $5 in iRacing credits. This segment 2 winner will receive $10 in iRacing credits. This will be a 50-lap segment. As you see, Kyle Pendergraft in second, trying to stay alongside Chris Wally, unable to do so. Wally able to clear everybody as they go into turn 3. Good clean start to the second segment so far. As
Are they going to push it 3 wide here, Alan?
Yeah, almost did. But didn't quite look like they did, but yeah, definitely some very early battles here. Boy, Vincent Short way up there in turn 3 and 4 as McDaniel goes around. And that is going to bring out the caution. It's the exact same place we saw Dakota Clark go around. Just gets back on the throttle just a little bit too soon. And that's what happens. So we'll go back and take a quick look. I mean, we were already watching him when that did happen. And actually, apparently Dakota Clark actually was involved as well. No, apparently. It's telling me Dakota Clark crashed for some reason, but I don't think that was the case. So let's take a look at Brad McDaniel here. And yeah, just goes right around Neil Quick. Apparently had some contact as well at some point. But anyway, we'll go back to live. And I think everybody's okay there overall. Just an unfortunate spin there, but he was able to keep it off the wall, no damage, so he'll be okay.
Yeah, I think Chris Wally was banking on a caution midway through this run. I don't think he was banking on the caution being this early.
Yeah, I believe he did have a chance to come in and pit on the first caution lap and chose not to. We'll see if he comes in right here. Doesn't look like he will, and he does not. So yeah, gonna try to stretch it out some more. And again, as you see the pit stops, Chris Wally, the only one who has not made a pit stop as of yet. As you see positions gained, that top 4, they have all 4 have hit double digits in terms of positions gained. So nice performance thus far for that top 4. But again, some of it is strategy, as we saw Chris Wally actually finished that first segment nearly a lap down. He goes from that to the lead. So, you know, good strategy for him so far. We'll see if it pays off as the night goes on. This looks like we will be going green next time by. Chris Wally still your race leader. Kyle Pendergraft, as it looks like they will extend things for one more caution.
They were on top of the wheel there that last restart, Alan. It's interesting to see if that's going to calm them down.
Yeah, definitely. They were really on top of each other to begin the second segment, and that's when things can get a little dicey. And we did see that to start this race. There was that very early caution, and then after that, it was a clean remainder of the segment. So we could see that same thing here. Now, of course, Chris Wally doesn't want that to happen. He wants, I would say he probably wants another, you know, maybe 10, 15, maybe 20 laps to go by, and then have, you know, a caution come in so that he could come in and make his pit stop, get some fuel into that car. Don't know how much more laps he can stay out there. Again, these these cars are set to 50% for fuel for this race, so they are not capable of a truly full tank. They start off at half full. So definitely something to keep an eye out on. So pace car in and green flag waves. Chris Wally gets off to a very good restart. He will clear everybody as they head into turn 1. So we see a nice battle for second place here between Kyle Pendergraft and Vincent Short. Short right now has the position. We'll see if he can clear him. Goes up the track just a little bit as they are side by side crossing the line. Nobody really able to pull away from anybody yet, as I believe we do have it 3 wide, and actually looks like, I believe that's Cook Quick. Actually, that's Colt Cecil in the lime green car. He decided to back off at the last second. That was definitely a wise move. Don't want to be pushing things that much early on. Chris Wally has been able to get some distance on everybody else. Pendergraft has cleared the rest of the field as well, as has Kevin McCann, but not for long. Vincent Short putting some pressure on McCann as they head to the backstretch. Short goes into 3 very low, goes up just a little bit. Luckily, Kevin McCann gives him enough room to get up just a little, just a hair there, as they are able to clear each other. Yeah, Vincent Short is choosing to go into the turns very low. We talked about it earlier. That can pay off on the short run, but over time, that can definitely hurt the tire wear.
Absolutely, Alan. You can see in that lap before, he just dove right into the corner under McCann. McCann obviously letting off a little earlier, but still was able to get a better run off the corner.
Actually, we have a battle for second place. Kyle Pendergraft hanging on to that position, but Kevin McCann putting the pressure on him. It looks like Kevin McCann's trying to stay a little bit higher than Pendergraft. As they head to turn 1, Pendergraft's able to clear McCann yet again, but boy, a lot of pressure from him. And meanwhile, they are both catching up to Chris Wally. I think we might have a battle for the lead in just a few laps here. We'll see if Chris Wally can hang on. So they're side by side for second place. Oh, there is big time contact. And boy, both of those cars in trouble there. We saw a tire fly up for a second, but it got back into place all of a sudden. Don't know whose that was, as they're 3 wide now.
3 wide.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Pendergraft definitely has some pretty severe right side damage. We'll go back and take a look at that in just a moment. But yeah, that was not what they were looking to do there. Let's go back and I think I went back just a little bit too much there, but we'll ride along. Oh, no, it's right there. Yeah, you see that fender just pretty much comes completely off. As between him and Chris Wally, Kevin McCann is the beneficiary of all that. He takes the lead back and now has about a half-second lead on Chris Wally. I'm a little surprised. I thought Wally was going to suffer some damage there that was going to kind of affect his car, but luckily for him, he's able to hang on to that second position for now. But boy, things have just picked up quite a bit here in this second stage. Looking at the intervals between everybody, it looks like things have calmed down a bit. Colt Cecil and Chris Mefford are really the closest cars to each other back here. As you see, they're pretty close to each other, as is Neil Quick. In front of them, they are battling for position between him, and it looks like that is looks like that is Pendergraft. And he's going to be able to clear Pendergraft, and like Brad McDaniel got a little bit loose there on the backstretch, but he's able to keep it straight. Go back up here to Vincent Short, and Brian McCann currently racing for position. You know that at some point Brian McCann is going to be a factor in this race. It's just a matter of when, as that is the fourth place spot right there. So McCann slowly but surely working his way up. Started in 6th place, has worked his way up to 4th. See if he can continue to climb through the field as this segment goes on. As we go back up to the front, Kevin McCann is really kind of checked out. Now over a 2.5 lead on Chris Wally. And what I'm really curious to see is once his brother Brian McCann gets some clean air, is that going to allow him to catch up to Kevin, or is Kevin just flat out the car to beat? Now Kevin has had the clean air for most of this race, and so that certainly helps things when you have nobody really in front of you to hold you back. And so yeah, I mean, until somebody proves that they can stick with Kevin, I mean, he's got to be the favorite for the remainder of this event.
Well, we will definitely see once we complete this second segment who's been saving their stuff. Kevin McCann, obviously, he's still in the lead. Started the 3rd segment. He's going to be pretty tough to beat.
Yeah, no question about that. But Brian McCann, meanwhile, has taken another spot. He is now in 3rd place. So again, working his way up there. Kyle Steffens currently between him and his brother Kevin. So we'll see if Brian can get back up there, make the pass, and get the McCann brothers at 1-2, which we're pretty used to seeing as this season has gone on. So Steffens kind of the one in the way between that happening, but so far doing a very nice job of sticking up there and putting together some nice lap times as well. We'll take a look at Steffens. His last lap a 22.701, but his best lap a 22.204. That's not bad at all, as he is actually, I believe he is closing the gap a little bit on Kevin McCann. That gap is down to 1 1/10. Now 1 2/10, but he has put together a nice little run here, and he may be getting up there before too long. So we'll ride along with him for just a moment. And that is Kevin McCann right up there. There is a car that's in danger of getting lapped not too far ahead of them. And yeah, that gap is down to 1 2/10 now. About a second ahead of Brian McCann as well, so Steffens definitely has some room to himself. And now Kevin McCann's having to deal with a little bit of lap traffic here, so that's going to help Steffens even more. McCann able to clear the lap car, and Steffens will be able to as well. Gap now under a second. That was Dakota Clark that was the lapped car, so unfortunately he is now 2 laps down. That's going to be pretty tough to come back from. But still plenty of time in this one, still opportunities to get some cautions and get that lucky dog.
Alan, Chris Wally is in the pits.
That's what I was just about to say. Not sure what happened to Chris Wally, but yeah, he is in the pits, and let's see if we can figure out what happened to him. And you know what? It might have been a fuel. Might have been fuel. That would be my guess. Let's go back and take a look. Well, we're taking a look at his car in pit lane. But yeah, I don't see any damage other than, you know, we did see that contact earlier, but I don't think that it was enough to where he had to come in to get damage repaired. So my guess is that he had to come in and get gas. Meanwhile, Kyle Steffens now down to about 0.6 of Kevin McCann, still trying to get back up there. He is pulled away. Actually, he and Brian are pretty equal in terms of lap times right now. Brian's still about a second behind him. So they are both actually starting to put the pressure on Kevin McCann. And really everybody else is just kind of trying to hang on right now. Jesse King in 4th place, but 5 seconds behind. Actually over 6 seconds behind the leader. So they are really just trying to, I think at this point, when you're that far behind, you just try to take care of your tires while you can. So let's ride with Steffens again real quick and just see where he's making up that time. They look pretty even in turns 3 and 4. You see Kevin McCann up there. Looks like he carries just a little bit more speed, but yeah, Steffens is able to get into the turn just a little bit deeper and really is able to keep that momentum going on the backstretch. You see McCann have just a little bit more speed on the straightaways, but not really that much more. Steffens is really making up a lot of time in the turns. He's able to really stay at the bottom of the track as well. Again, the next segment will end at lap 75. These guys are racing for $10 in iRacing credits. That's what this winner of the second segment will receive.
Now, Alan, this could be Kevin McCann's strategy.
It could be.
You know?
Definitely. You definitely have something there. I mean, he's definitely trying to take care of those tires. I think that he's probably capable of, you know, faster lap times than what he's currently doing. As the caution comes out, and it looks like Jesse King and Brad McDaniel have gotten into an issue. And oh, Jesse King with some big time damage. That front left tire is not even moving. Take a look at Brad McDaniel as well, and yeah, oh, some big time front end damage for him as well. So this was a pretty significant crash, as we will go back and see what happened here. As there's Jesse King in the 55. McDaniel, oh, just got into the back of him. I think King might have had to check up a little bit. Oh, there's the contact. Oh, hard hit there, pieces flying everywhere. I think they had to check up a little bit more than they wanted to for, I believe that was Colt Cecil in front of them, and I think that really kind of got them out of sync. And yeah, just an unfortunate situation there. They will both, I believe that there is one quick repair, I believe. We'll take a look.
Alan, I think you're right. I just seen the front end of, I'm not sure whose car we're in, but I just seen the front end just repair itself pretty quickly.
Yeah, that looks a lot better for McDaniel. So yeah, they definitely do have one quick repair. And let's see. Let's take a look at that crash one more time. Let's go inside. Let's go inside the car of King, and yeah, he had to check up a little bit, and then here's the contact. Boy, you see that. Whenever you see that tire pop up, that's never a good sign. So just very unfortunate. But again, they both did have a quick repair, so The worst thing out of that is that they probably took their tires and have to start near the rear of the field for this restart. But other than that, they should be in okay shape. And I'll tell you what, Kevin McCann, I don't know. I don't know if he's glad that caution came out or if he had the field right where he wanted them. So only time will tell. I mean, it's always interesting for these situations to know whether, just kind of guessing whether that was strategy or if his tires were just that worn out and Kyle Steffens truly was that much better than him.
Yeah, I think Chris Wally is banging his steering wheel right now. He needed that caution to happen just a few laps sooner.
Yeah, definitely. Now, what we're currently seeing is that Chris Wally may be on the lead lap, so he might have gotten the lucky dog. But it also says that Dakota Clark is on the lead lap, and he was 2 laps down just a little while ago. So I can't imagine that he would have gotten both laps back. So I don't think that is quite accurate, but we will see. We'll see if that does end up being the case or not. We are about 15 laps away from the end of the second segment. Kevin McCann is your leader. Kyle Steffens, again, had a great run going, was chasing down Kevin McCann, was within about half a second of him when the caution went out. And really, Brian McCann was doing a nice job as well. But Chris Mefford, well, I was about to say he currently being shown in 3rd place, but that was because of where they were on the track. So Brian McCann will restart 3rd, Chris Mefford 4th, and Neil Quick 5th. So that'll be your top 5 for this restart. And with that being said, the green flag back out, and we are back underway here at Richmond Raceway. As Kevin McCann does a nice job, another clean start for him. Early battle for 3rd between Brian McCann, Chris Mefford right behind him, Neil Quick just behind him. But they spread out pretty quick, and we have a caution already. So not a clean start, it turns out. Looks like Colt Cecil has had an issue with this start. And we'll go to him. Might have just been a simple spin that brings this one out. We'll go back and take a look in just a moment. Oh, he had to check up for short in front of him. I think he might have had to slam on his brakes even there. We'll take another look in his car.
He did a really good job there, Alan, in avoiding hitting anyone else and the wall.
Yeah, definitely. So let's take another look here. I'm guessing he has to slam on the brakes here. No, not really. He definitely had to check up, but I think that he just, I don't know. That one's hard to tell whether he carried more momentum into the turn than he meant to, or if he just wasn't expecting that much of a checkup from short. But nevertheless, like you said, a nice job of staying off that inside wall. And he's able to keep it going, although he will start in the back of the pack, assuming nobody else comes into pit. So Kevin McCann will continue to lead the field with these pace laps. And, this is where you start to, as a driver, you're starting to think, okay, we've seen a couple of straight, couple of cautions in a row. How's the rest of this race going to be? As it draws closer and closer to the end, as we're still not even halfway, so there's still plenty of racing left. But, when you see 2 consecutive cautions happen within one another, you can't help but think, is that how the rest of this race is going to go? Are we going to have these long green flag laps, or is it going to be a dash for the rest of it and then a caution comes out? So you really have to think whether whether making a move is worth it, or if it's if you'd rather just sit back, keep it clean, try to try to pass that car as their tires wear more and more, and you're trying to save your tires more and more and also have to worry about fuel. So it's definitely going to be an interesting time for all of these drivers involved, as they're really going to have to start thinking about strategy.
Yeah, that's right, Alan. If I was in one of those cars right now, I just want to ride it out to lap 75, keep the car clean. How confident am I that the tires that I'm on are going to last me the rest of the race? How long can I take these tires before I get my one and only set and finish the rest of this race with?
Kevin McCann goes as soon as the pace car comes in, and he is going to pull away a little bit early on, but cars behind him is a different story, as there's a battle for second early on here between Kyle Steffens and Brian McCann. We keep talking about Brian McCann. We know he's going to be up there battling for the win, as he does every week. We'll see if he can make the move here as they come onto the front stretch. Steffens able to hang on to that second spot. Neil Quick battling for that fourth place spot as well, right behind them, but he's able to get under Brian McCann. So Brian McCann goes from battling for second place to really trying to hang on for third now, and Neil Quick will complete the pass for now. We'll see if he can clear him here on the front stretch. Can't quite do it. I think he'll be able to here in turn one, and he does for now. Brian McCann will carry a little bit more momentum onto the backstretch, but nice job by Quick of being able to keep him cleared, and they will go to single file. So a nice pass by Neil Quick. So the rest of them remain single file for now. We'll see how long that lasts. Brian McCann back to fourth place. Chris Mefford in fifth. Trying to put some pressure on him, but unable to do so right now. As really the best battle is right here. Battle for 11th spot currently. Brad McDaniel has it, as we have another yellow flag. I'm trying to see where the yellow was, but I'm not seeing anything right now. I believe that one might have been manually thrown, and I'm not sure why. It's lap 66. The segment was supposed to end at lap 75. So not sure exactly what happened there.
Could have been a debris caution there, Alan.
Sure. So with that being said, we'll take a quick break here. It's been a while since we've taken one of those, so we'll return in just a moment here on 10-4 Broadcasting Network. as we return, the green flag comes out. Kevin McCann gets off to another nice start. Early battle for second between Kyle Steffens and Neil Quick. Quick trying to get under him. He's able to do so as they will head to the backstretch side by side. Man, Quick making those moves right now. He is going for it all. We stay on this blimp angle for now. We'll head back to the TV view. Quick able to get that position for now. Steffens fighting back as they are very close in turns 1 and 2. Good battle here for second place, but meanwhile, you know that Kevin McCann's loving what he's seeing on his rear view mirror.
Yeah, Alan, right now these cars are a handful, and that's for a lack of better words. These cars are very hard to drive and maneuver without having that feeling of just getting loose and spinning out.
And speaking of spinning out, I believe that Vincent Short has had an issue. Let's go back and actually let's finish looking at this battle as they are right there with each other. We'll take a look at Vincent Short in just a moment. I believe that he did run into an issue. And it looks like for now things have settled down there. So let's take a look at Vincent Short real quick. And it looks like it might have already happened there. Oh, nope, there he goes. He goes around on the track, and is he able to keep it off the wall? It looks like he was just barely able to, but some issues there early on this run for Vincent Short there. We'll see if we can get back in the mix of things.
Yeah, Alan, after that spin, he's going to have to ride it out 5 laps and go in and get some tires and try to make it the rest of the way.
Yeah, he should be okay there. He's being shown about 14 seconds back, so he's still has about 8 seconds worth of track space before he has to worry about going a lap down. So as long as he doesn't spin again, I think he'll be okay before the next caution comes out, which will be coming up in just about 3 laps from now. As Kevin McCann already has that $5 of iRacing credits, and he is just a couple laps away from another 10. That is over a 1-month subscription to iRacing, so it's a good little payday there. And ooh, Mefford's having an issue. Boy, he has lost several positions there. I'm wondering if maybe he's run out of fuel. I think he ran out of fuel. There's no question he's having an issue. Mefford's out of fuel. So that is
that's Steffens.
Or excuse me. You're right.
Yeah,
Steffens
that's tough, man. That's really tough. As strong as he was there, that's really odd. Didn't he pit the last cycle?
Let's take a look. I can tell you how many pit stops he's been a part of. Yeah, he's only stopped once. So he was. I think he came into pit with everybody else when McCann and Quick made their stops. So, yeah, not sure exactly what happened to him there, but you see he is very slow getting to his stop.
Yeah.
He is going to lose multiple laps from this mistake. That is so unfortunate for Steffens. And yeah, that is just so unfortunate for him at a snail's pace getting to his pit stall. Now, luckily for him, the caution, well, we're on lap 76. Okay, there it is. There's the caution. So Kevin McCann takes the second segment as well. He will take the $10 in iRacing credits for a total of 15 so far for him tonight.
Very, 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 very strong performance for Kevin McCann so far, Alan. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Really tough break for Kyle Stevens. Hopefully he can get it gathered back together. Maybe he just didn't put enough fuel in that last stop.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's the case.
Just a tad more, and that'd have been a great strategy.
Yeah, and it really makes you wonder how much longer these guys were going to be able to make it on fuel. Couldn't have been much longer if he had already run out. So you see Kevin McCann coming into pit. Colt Cecil actually did just stay out, and it looks like everybody else in the top 10 has come onto pit road as well. But what's unfortunate is if that is the case and Colt Cecil did stay out, then that is going to prevent anybody from getting that wave around, including Steffens. So that's just kind of adding salt to the wound there. But yeah, Colt Cecil, I believe, is going to be the new leader. Or no, he's not. He's just now coming around. So you know what? He was I take it he was the lucky dog. I think that's what it must have been, because he just made up a lap.
So, Alan, what's your predictions on the tire strategy now? We've got 74, 73 laps to go. I really didn't notice anyone take any tires. What's your opinion on the strategy?
So, you know, really, if there was a time to take tires, it's right now. I mean, in my opinion, but you know, I wish that we had a way of knowing when, you know, knowing who has taken their tires and who hasn't. But, you know, really, I just don't know. I think that if I were in this race, I would split it right down the middle. I would go ahead and get my tires now, because the front half of this race has been kind of unpredictable. There's been some nice green flag runs, but then there's also been a number of cautions as well, as Colt Cecil has come to a stop here. Not exactly. Okay, so I think, yeah, for some reason he came, so he was on the lead lap, and he came around, I think maybe thinking that he was the lucky dog, but yeah, he's stopping now to give everybody, to let everybody catch up to him, and yeah, there you go. So interesting development there, but looks like as of right now, Vincent Short will be the leader, or maybe it is Colt Cecil. So yeah, it looks like Colt Cecil will be the leader, and that's what we thought originally. But then when Kevin McCann came out of the pits, Cecil was about to pass him again. So that was when I figured, oh, he must be the lucky dog. But now he has had to wait an entire lap to let everybody else catch up. And you know, I'm wondering, that does happen sometimes with iRacing. There's every now and then you run into that bug where, you know, it'll tell you to pass the pace car, only for it to then turn around and tell you to let the pace car by, and sometimes it just leads to a mess. And you know, maybe that's what happened there. But oh well, as long as it gets sorted, that's the most important thing. And another interesting development, Brian McCann's being shown a lap down. If that is the case, that's a huge development. So he has been battling in the top 5 for the majority of this race, all of a sudden being caught up a lap down.
Any possibility that he could have ran out of fuel like Kyle Steffens?
You know what? That's you could be onto something there. Trying to see if there was any point where Brian McCann entered pit road before that caution, and I don't believe he did. don't think McCann came onto pit road until the caution came out, but that is a possibility that maybe he did run out of fuel before he was able to come down pit road. So whatever the case, an interesting development. And Kevin McCann looks like he came down pit road to top off, so he will restart in 12th place. So seeing a number of new, oh, whoa. Colt Cecil, yeah, comes onto pit road with a little too much heat there, but luckily is able to keep the car from spinning or hitting the wall. So anyway, it looks like we'll have at least one more pace lap after this one, but Vincent Short, your new leader for now, followed by Kyle Pendergraft. In third is Tim Schofield, fourth Cook Quick, and fifth Jesse B. King. Tell you what, a nice job by Chris Wally. He's been all over the place. He was, it wasn't that long ago where he was just barely on the tail end of the lead lap as the first segment came to an end. Then he was in the lead for a little while thanks to strategy, and now right in the middle of the field. So a nice job by Chris Wally thus far. Kevin McCann, it looks like, who, obviously he has led the majority of the laps here. He is going to restart 11th, it looks like. And again, an interesting development. Brian McCann will restart 13th, but one lap down. So he is going to hope for a fairly quick caution to get the lucky dog to get back on that lead lap.
You got Kevin McCann starting 11th, so it's going to be interesting to see him make his way back up through the field. Hopefully, doesn't get caught up in anything. And here we go with the green flag.
So it looked like Kyle Pendergraft actually restarted as the race leader, as he is able to clear everybody, as well as Tim Schofield, who's currently in second in this battle between Vincent Short and Cook Quick. So they come off of turn 4. Looks like Quick, or actually that's excuse me. Okay, so Brian McCann is actually on the tail. He restarted on the tail end of the lead lap. So that just makes things even more confusing. So it just, as the caution does.
We have a little issues with our scoring system here, Alan.
Yeah, it's not going to matter now because the caution comes out. That is going to allow Brian McCann to catch up to the rest of the field. And actually, I believe the yellow flag was just manually thrown, maybe to get that all straightened out. I think that they were think that maybe there was some confusion on that restart with what was going on. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that the yellow flag was just thrown there manually. We did see Cook Quick come onto pit lane. Okay, so maybe Cook Quick actually, it's possible that he caused that flag, as he does have some damage on that right front side.
Yeah, like I said earlier, Alan, the longer these guys stay on these old tires that they started to race with, the harder this car gets to drive.
Yeah, and again, we were talking about the tire strategy, and again, if the second half of this race is just going to be caution filled, then you really can get tires anytime you want, because you're going to end up not using them. But it's going to be the person that decides, okay, I'm gonna keep racing on these old tires as long as I can, and hope for a long green flag run. Late in the race to get to be on those new tires and to have a real big advantage over everybody else. And we'll see who takes that gamble and whether it pays off or not. So after all that confusion, and again, we were looking at who we thought was the lead car. Turned out that was Brian McCann at the very tail end of the lead lap for some odd reason. But now I think we will have it straightened out for this next restart. But it will be Kyle Pendergraft leading the field, then Tim Schofield, and currently Jesse B. King in third place, followed by Chris Wally and Chris Mefford. So those make up the top 5. As looks like Dakota Clark is the lucky dog. So we saw him get in trouble early on in this race. He's finally in position to make up some laps, so that's good to see for him. And again, still plenty of time. If he can get enough cautions, he can get back in this one. We'll still have at least 2 pace laps remaining. Again, I want to thank the sponsors of tonight's race. We've got R&R Racewear, the big sponsor for this one. And by the way, they will be actually providing plaques to the top 3 finishers here tonight. So a big thank you to them, as well as Hydrotech, as well as Loud Pedal Gaming. So a big thank you to all of them. So we will come to 1 to go here as they cross the start-finish line. Lap 80 of 150, so we are past halfway, and there are no more segments. The only thing left is for there to be a winner. This is the all-star race, so not racing for points.
So far, this has been a really clean race. We've had a few accidents, a few hiccups with the scoring system. I think we've caused more cautions than they have.
I know, right?
But this is a really good group of guys that are on the track, and it's been a really good race.
Yeah, and you know, I've gotten the chance to talk to several of these drivers. You know, it's easy to look at the difference in iRating, but you know, a lot of these guys just do league racing. They don't worry about their iRating. They don't do official series. They just stick to league racing. And I'll tell you what, I love the NIS series. I love racing in the official series, but there's times where you do get flustered enough to where you start thinking maybe I should just race in a league series, because I'm tired of some of these guys in here that just cause trouble every week. So, you know, definitely something that is kind of a preferred taste kind of thing. You know, some people love racing against random people every week. Others absolutely hate it. So it's definitely interesting as we have another caution. We could actually hear the tire marks before that caution came out. It looks like it's Brandon Mefford, unfortunately. At least I believe so. Let's go back and take a look. Take a look at Mefford here, and oh yeah, gets into Schofield. Just no, oh, I was about to say no damage, but unfortunately Dakota, I think that was Dakota Clark that came in. Clark had just gotten that lucky dog, and unfortunately is probably going to have to go on to pit road to get that damage repaired. And because he was involved in the wreck, that does disqualify you from being the lucky dog. But actually, never mind. Looks like everybody's on the lead lap now. So I think we're good to go in terms of any lucky dog requirements. So never mind there. So it's been a while since you've raced, Ray. You mentioned that earlier. When are you thinking about getting back into it?
Well, I definitely want to get back into it. A lot of my issue is my setup and how cumbersome it is, and there's just a lot of things that a lot of tools and just the way I've been sim racing since NASCAR sim racing, or yeah, well, NASCAR sim racing in NR 2003. Um, you were the one that got me addicted to racing in VR, and so as soon as I can get my VR set up upgraded, I think I'm gonna get back into it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's definitely an acquired taste. It gets used to racing. You know, you really have to get used to racing in VR. It seems like such a foreign thing at first, but man, once you get used to it, it you know, I feel like it gives me an advantage just from having that depth perception, and you know, just it just it's like you can feel the car a little better. You know, you can kind of react a little bit quicker. Like you can just see a little bit sooner when the car is starting to come around. You have a better chance of saving it. At least, you know, maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe it's a placebo effect, but you know, that's what it feels like to me. And I have tried since starting in VR, going back to a monitor and just seeing whether I can do it or not. And I couldn't even get through a turn without spinning out. So it definitely feels so different from VR versus VR. Now, my next thing is I'm currently on the original Oculus Rift. I will be upgrading my VR to a Reverb G2. I cannot wait for that thing to arrive. Hopefully it'll be soon as we go back to green flag. Kyle Pendergraft leads the field into turn one. Pretty decent battle going on for fifth place.
Jesse King shoots down low, looking low. Good start here. Good clean start.
Jesse King gets that second spot, does have some pressure by his number right behind him. He was involved in that wreck that brought out that last caution, but he was able to really here. He's right back to where he left off. Doesn't seem to have affected him at all.
There goes Jesse King looking on the inside, probably going to dive bomb. There we go. 14 gives.
Pendergraft pretty much voluntarily gave up that position. He did have some short lead the track apparently just a moment ago. Let's so we have a little bit of contact right there. They're able to keep it straight. We'll let them go through this one last turn just to show you what happened before we take a look at the replay. Let's take a look at Vincent Short real quick. See what happened to him. And made some contact there, gets onto the apron. Luckily was able to keep it going. And that could have been much worse. Have battle. Actually, that was for the lead. Kevin McCann takes the lead back from Jesse King. When Kevin McCann gets in the lead, you usually don't see him much after that. He is has that clean air once again. Meanwhile, Chris Mefford is able to pass Jesse King for second. So he's able to get a little bit of damage from Chris Mefford. Taking that second spot, really without much of an issue. Brian McCann trying to enter the conversation. He was looking low on Jesse King. Now is looking to carry that momentum coming off of 4. As they head into turn 1, single file. Brian McCann goes in just a little bit higher. More of a momentum run coming on the backstretch. Didn't quite get up to him. Meanwhile, Kevin McCann already almost a second ahead of second place Chris Mefford. Check it out. And you might see a run by McCann. Actually put on the block a little bit there. Is there going to be contact? I don't think there is yet. But boy, cutting it pretty close right there. It's right along with Jesse King just for the moment. Back and look at McCann. He's right below that. side by side on the front stretch. McCann did have third place as they crossed the line there, and he is able to pass Jesse King. We'll see if King tries to fight back. He is able to get to the outside of him, but McCann is going to be able to clear him and complete that pass. I think they'll calm down a little bit. While they were doing that, Chris Mefford was able to pull out about 8/10 in front of them. So now Brian McCann will work on getting up to second place. I don't believe he's been up to second as of yet in this one, but he started sixth. He has slowly but surely worked his way through the field, about as much as you can go through the field starting in sixth place. I mean, sixth place isn't shabby to start, but slowly trying to get up there to his brother and doing a nice job of it. Did mention earlier that Chris Mefford was involved in that last caution. That was actually Brandon Mefford. So Brandon is back in 11th place. And speaking of crashing, we have the caution coming out. It looks like Vincent Short has run into an issue. Doesn't seem to be a ton of damage. See some smoke on the track just in front of him. Let's take a look and see what happened there. Looks like it's between him and Chris Wally as they're going to come into three low, and not a lot of room from Chris Wally, and they just end up both going around. Looks like that's all there was to it. So yeah, not much damage for either car, luckily. But again, the caution comes out, and as this race is starting to draw near a close, we still have a little bit over 50 laps remaining, but those who have not yet taken that set of tires, I think at this point you're taking it.
Yeah, Alan, I agree. If you haven't taken them by now, I'm sure the car is a handful to drive. Go ahead and get them. Save your stuff. You know, if you think another caution is going to come out, I feel like we'll have a couple of more, and then pedal to the metal. You know, 15, 20 laps to go.
So okay, so this race was supposed to go 150 laps, but we have just gotten an indication that the checkered flag has waved. So we will,
all right.
as you see, so Kevin McCann, it looks like has won the race. We are going to take a short break and get this figured out as to exactly what just happened, and we will get back with you as you enjoy the post-race demolition derby. We'll be right back. So we have just received word that unfortunately, due to the high number of cautions in this race, the server ran out of time. There is an expiration amount of time to these servers. You can choose how long you want the server to last, and unfortunately, just not enough time was selected, and the race came to an end. And so, Kevin McCann ends up winning this shortened All-Star event.
Yeah, and congratulations to him and Chris Medford and Brian McCann for placing first, second, and third. And I had a blast, Alan. I appreciate you inviting me doing this. Seen some good racing, and I'm kind of sad that it was cut short. I was interested in seeing how the tire strategy came out to play and where Kevin McCann would finish.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting one. So let's see if we can get these guys in here. So we'll start off with third place finisher Brian McCann. So we'll get him up here in just a moment. And here we go. Hey, Brian, you got a copy?
I do. How's it going?
I'm fine. So, I was waiting for you to make your usual pass for the win, but we all of a sudden, 52 laps before we were set to end the event, all of a sudden the checkered flag waves. So you just didn't have enough time to get it done. Did you think you had something for your brother?
Oh yeah, I was running him down at the end there, but he's trying to tell me that he was holding back the whole time. I was like, yeah, if I would have got to your bumper, well.
Yeah, we were kind of wondering the same thing up here. Who was holding back, who was going all out. So what about the tires? So from what I understand, there was just one extra set of tires for this race. What was the strategy when to get that tire change, or did you end up having to with this ending 52 laps early?
We actually had 2 extra set of tires, and I didn't use any tires until the last stage. And my strategy was, if the timer would have went to the full race, it would have been to take my second set during that second stage as well, but that didn't get to play out.
Okay, so that was a little bit of a miscommunication. I was told there would only be one extra set of tires, so that kind of kind of ruins the strategy that we were talking about during the broadcast. But it's all good. But okay, well, yeah, great. Another, even though it's not a win, which I know that's what you're used to, still a great performance by you. Any shout outs you want to
give? Chris, R&R Racewear, all the sponsors. I don't remember all of them. Loud Pedal. You'll probably been talking about them today some, and my wife, and just having a good time out here.
Yeah, Hydrotech is the only one that you missed out on, but other than that, good job.
Thanks.
So Brian McCann with that third place finish. Let's bring in. Well, I've got to figure out which Mefford I'm bringing in. So I believe. Okay, so we are bringing in Chris Mefford in the 46. This is Chris Mefford we're talking to, right?
That is correct.
All right, so a second place finish in an unfortunately shortened event. We saw you up there. You were sticking with Kevin. Brian was, up there as well. Did you think that you had something for Kevin as that run, assuming that we would have had a decent-sized green flag run? Did you think you had anything for him?
I told my brother that Kevin was going to be the class of the field tonight, just because nothing against Brian, but I think Kevin's just a tick better short track racer. I don't know. Once we figured out that the race was going to be shortened, about that time Kevin got around me, so that really hurt my chances. So it was a good night overall, but I wish I'd done one better.
Yeah, still a solid performance for you, though. Any shout-outs you want to give?
Yep, I'll give a shout to Chris and you guys in the group, for getting everything, dealing with everybody's BS. It's always fun to come out here and try to compete with those two guys because it seems like those two are the pretty well classed of the field. Shout out to my brother for racing. We had a good race, and we were just racing hard there at the end. I don't know if we went 3 wide there on accident or what happened, but it caught him up in it. So overall, it was a good race, and congrats to Kevin on winning. I just hope I could have caught him.
Yep, still a great performance nonetheless. Chris Mefford with a second place finish. So now we bring on the race winner, Kevin McCann. Hey, Kevin, so this time, the last time I talked to you, I did miss last week's race, but the last time I talked to you, you were in position for the win, and then I believe it was a late race incident that caused you to have to go to the back of the pack, which cost your chances of winning. You get the job done here. Now, according to Brian, he says he had something for you. You, according to him, though, you think different.
Yeah, he said that. Nah, I don't think he had anything for me. We did have a gentleman's agreement going into this that the bump and run was allowed for the win. So if he could have got to me, yeah, he might would have knocked me out of the way, which, I would have done the same to him, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, so I mean, you were pretty much the guy to beat from the start. We did see in the practice session that Brian McCann had the fastest time. I kind of assumed that he was going to be the guy to beat, and then in warm-ups, you were, I mean, it wasn't even close. You were so much faster than everybody else in that warm-up session. So all of a sudden, we were thinking, wow, you might be the class of this race after all, and that turned out to be the case. Just take us through what your strategy was. I mean, we thought during the race that there was only going to be one extra set of tires. Turns out there were two. So what was your strategy when it came to the tires? Were you trying to save them as late as you could, or trying to evenly distribute them? What was the strategy there?
Yeah, I was saving them. I only used one set of tires that race, so I ran the same set through first and second stage. And then my strategy was to use both sets in the final stage, but we hit the time limit, so that didn't come into play. But yeah, I was probably just as surprised as y'all were that I was fastest. I came in, I joined the practice session late, saw Brian's time, and I couldn't get within like 2/10 of it, and I was sitting there going, well, my night, I've lost this race. But turns out track's a whole lot faster when it's green. It tightens up real bad once it gets rubber on it. So yeah.
Yeah, really, I was expecting these cars to be sliding all over the place like they usually do at most of the tracks we go to. Doesn't look like that was as much of an issue this time, so that was definitely good to see, an opportunity for some long green flag laps, although, there were some cautions that bred other cautions, but overall, pretty clean night overall. Go ahead and give your shout outs.
Yeah, shout out to Chris and putting it on. Jesse, the Meffords, Neil. We had some great, battling tonight. That was fun, nice and clean. Unfortunately, I can't shout out my brother because he never got up to me, so we never raced. But yeah, and thank you guys for doing the broadcast.
I have a feeling that he'll have something for you next week.
Before we got in a huge argument before you pulled me up here. He was saying that he didn't believe. Chris, I think, Mefford said that I was better at the short tracks, and Brian was disputing that. So I was pulling up the race results from all the short tracks. I'm like, look at this one, look at this one. Yeah.
Well, family rivalry, nothing better than that. So we'll see you next week.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Yep. So Kevin McCann takes the All-Star event victory. He won $15 in iRacing credits from stages 1 and 2. I'm guessing that there was probably a winning prize as well. I don't have word as to whether that's the case or not, but he pretty much sweeps the entire event. So congratulations to Kevin, and should be fun to see those two continue to battle it out there on the track. So Ray, this was your first event broadcasting with us. What'd you think?
Well, Alan, I had a lot of fun. Was super nervous, and I appreciate you letting me join the booth with you tonight. Seen some really good racing. I want to say congratulations to Kevin for that dominating performance. I was really looking forward to seeing how Chris Wiley's strategy played out. Really sad to see the result of that, but man, that was pretty fun. I quite enjoyed it. I appreciate you letting me do it with you.
Yeah, I appreciate you filling in on such a short notice. So from all of us here at 10-4, that will do it for tonight. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.